if you had to name the emotion that defines this chapter of your life, what would it be?
At this level stage,
At
this
the
moment,
present moment.
at the present moment,
Yeah.
I would think I will say an overcomer. My mother-in-law stood up. She says, "Where do you think you're going? Because you're not even aware that you've been divorced. You can't get the death certificate."
You've been divorced. Your unprepared pain is a lot.
I couldn't scream. I think just my tears were just wailing down. Another thing that reminded me, when I got home, my little girl, she said to me, "Mommy, he was sick." She didn't say a lot. She just said, and I looked at the 7-year-old. She's telling me he was sick.
From Soweto to Lagos, Nairobi to the Cape, she's rewriting the stories they said she couldn't shape. Mom's rising in.
We are in conversation with greatness, and I am your host, the founder of Think and Grow Rich Africa, and my name is Lerato Sithole. Today I am hosting Mrs. Matshidiso Lengwati in this conversation with greatness. Tsidi, if I can call you that, please can you just introduce yourself, just tell us who you are.
Okay, I'm Matshidiso Lengwati, a mother of 3, and currently now a mother of 6, with the blessing of God.
Okay.
What I meant with 6 now is that because 2 of my eldest kids got married, and also have a granddaughter. So now I've come to be a mother of 6, and I live in Madrid, and I'm a businesswoman. So I think I'll end up there.
Yeah. And today we are honored to really be spending the time with Mrs. Tsidi Lengwati. And wow, what a topic I've got here, unprepared pain. And we will begin by just really unpacking that title. For me, it sounds like the pain that no one rehearses for, the pain that comes when you didn't think there was a pain coming. And I'm hoping that through this conversation, we will get to know the woman that you are, the woman whose world changed in one day, and how you found your strength to breathe again. Welcome, Mrs. Tsidi Lengwati.
Thank you so much for this opportunity to be at Think and Grow Rich. So today I'm hoping, like Lerato has already said, that the topic is unprepared pain. So as she has already unpacked a little bit to say this pain, it came unprepared just in a minute, I won't say even an hour.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So while you're there, what does this title of unprepared pain, so you can tell us how it came about, but what does it stir within you?
Okay, the title came about because the pain, I never thought it at that age that I was, because I was still hoping for more years to be with a loved one. And it came even after he was gone. That's when there were a lot of things that started to happen that I was not aware of during our livelihood while he was still around.
Yeah.
So to me, it was something that I was not prepared for, to say this is what you're going to face.
Yeah. So we are talking about the loss of Mr. Lengwati, who passed away. And that is what Mrs. Tsidi is talking about in terms of the pain that came. But there's a lot more that we're going to be unpacking in this, because as we discover how unprepared, what was, it sounds like there's going to be a whole package of that unprepared pain. Do you remember the exact moment you realized that the life is not going to be the same?
Yes, I think I realized when he was hospitalized. And then I remember the morning of the 16th of February, 6 a.m. and I got a call and they say I must rush to hospital. When I got there and he was in coma. And I tried to wake him up, but I realized that he's not coming back, no matter how much I tried. But at that moment, I could feel, because the moment I started feeling his feet, they were getting cold. That's when I realized that I think this is a ticket, one return with no return. Yeah, that's the day. And I think I spent the whole day there, about 3 in the afternoon. That's when I realized that he has just departed from us, because I just heard a scream of a nurse and I was like, what is happening? And that's when I realized that indeed he was not willing to come back to us.
And for how long had he been in hospital before that day of the 16th of February? What year was it, by the way?
It's 2017.
Yeah.
Actually, he started being sick in 2016, around June. He was on and off. And then he started going to hospital January 2017. He will be in hospital and then maybe spend a week or two and come back home, because we're hoping that he's getting better. And then I think the last straw, it was on the 13th of February, I still remember. And I woke up in the morning and realized that he can no longer talk to me. He couldn't no longer stand up on his own. And that's when I called my son Tabiso to say, hey, let's rush him to hospital again.
Oh, this was when he was at home then?
He was at home.
Okay.
Yeah, and he was just being released. I think he had been on home for 3 days. And the doctor said, no, he's getting better. But when he got home, I don't know what happened. But that's when we realized on the 13th to say things have just changed to another level. And we rushed him to hospital. And he was there until he passed on the 16th.
Yeah, just 3 days.
Just 3 days.
Just 3 days. And so we'll address him as his name.
Success.
Because we're going to be talking about him a lot. Success. Okay, his name is Success Lengwati. So how would you describe the woman you are today, standing on the other side of the storm? I mean, 2017, we almost, 2 years, just under 2 years to be 10 years now. Yeah.
I will say today, I'm that woman who God made me to realize that I cannot stand in my own understanding. I had to lean on God. And I had to trust God for this journey. And I had to tell myself, I have to be strong, because I still had a little one that was looking after me. The other two are already grown up, and I said they can take care of themselves.
Yeah.
But the little
She
one,
needed you.
me the most. And I had to be strong for her and then make sure that she achieves, because I still remember the late when he said to me, before he got into coma, 2 days before, he said to me, I'm very strong and he believes that I will make it. But I couldn't understand what he was talking from. But after he passed on, I realized that he was just saying a goodbye in style.
I actually had a question about the word strong. So when he said you are strong, or when people say you are strong, what is the truth that they do not see behind those words?
The truth that they don't see is that you also break down.
Yeah.
You also cry.
Right.
And you are also vulnerable. And there are times where you have just to wake up in the morning and say, look at yourself in the mirror and say, God, give me strength. I can't do it on my own. And that's when people think that you are strong, whereas you are not strong on your own. Without God, there's nothing that you can do.
Yes, absolutely.
Yeah, and I still believe God so much. I'm a person that is a Christian who loves God so much, and I depend on Him daily. Nothing
How
else.
how are you? How would you say you are carrying the pain now? Light, or tight, or somewhere in between? I mean, 8 years down the line, I think, if we're calculating right, yeah.
Yeah, now 8 years down the line, I think the pain is now very light. I will say it's very, very light, because I will say the first 5 years, I don't know where was I? Was I on this earth, or was just a person who was moving? And I started realizing that it's Tsidi, but where was Tsidi? Tsidi was nowhere. But I started realizing, especially from I will say late 2024, I realized that now I need Tsidi back. And I realized to say, now I can carry this pain, but how do I carry it? And through it, I had to say, now I have to understand and not depend, because the past, if they are gone, they will never come back. I must get to that place.
Yeah.
So the hardest thing is that the starting point.
The starting point.
The starting point, because now you have to tell yourself every day, in the morning, at night, wherever you go, to say, I can do it. Jesus Christ has done it for me in the cross. If he did carry my sins, why can't I do it?
And the pain and the
And
sorrow
the pain, the sorrow,
and the grief.
everything.
Yeah.
So it's my turn now to carry this pain, but I still cannot do it with my own strength. But go through the word of God says, I can do all things
Through Christ.
that strengthens me every day. So daily, that is my thing, to say I can do it.
So I think the joy we've got now is that we have the benefit of hindsight, that we're talking to you as you are able to look back. But as you said, maybe the first 5 years you can't even describe. So if you had to name the emotion that defines this chapter of your life, what would it be?
At this level stage,
At the
moment,
present moment.
At the present moment.
Yeah.
I would think I will say an overcomer. An overcomer.
Yeah. I know you overcame a lot, and I can't wait to
Yeah.
get to all of that.
Because when I look back to say where I came from, I'm really an overcomer.
Yeah. It is unprepared pain, because you didn't see the pain coming, and yet it came. We will just unpack a little bit more to just get to understand the moments that define that first day when life has already changed.
Okay.
So that's what I want to just take our time to get into that level of detail. So you didn't see the pain coming. I'm going to keep on going back to unprepared pain, and yet the pain did come. I wonder if there's anyone that can claim that they were prepared for the pain. I don't know. Maybe there's a world like that. So I want to just get into your life on that day. Take us to that day. Where were you when you heard the news? Who were you with?
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, on the day of the 16th of February 2017, it was on a Thursday. Actually, we were just from the hospital the night before. And I think I even forgot to charge my phones. And 6 a.m., Thabiso came to my room.
Thabiso is your eldest son?
My eldest son.
Yeah.
And he says, Mom, they're looking for you. Where are your phones? I said, I don't know. He says, we have to rush to the hospital now. And when he said that, then I realized my phones are nowhere to be found, but I found them, one at least we had certain percentage. Then I called my parents, and I remember telling my dad, saying, I can't do this. I don't know why was I saying that. And he says, what? And I said, me and Thabiso were going to hospital. He says, no. Me and my mom, we are coming there. Then I think I called my late mother-in-law. And I told her, things are not getting better. And I think that's also where the pain started. She answered me in a very way that I didn't expect as a mother. She said to me, "Is he dying?"
Oh, wow.
And I think I dropped a call.
Because you were not,
That
was not what you wanted to hear.
That's not what I wanted to
Yeah.
hear from her, especially as a mother. Then we rushed to hospital, and we got there, and the doctor pulled me on the side, and she said to me, because this was a lady doctor, she's a specialist, and she's in anemia, and she said, "I think you have to say your goodbyes." And I looked at the doctor and I said, "I don't understand." And she said, "We've done what we could. Things are not looking good." And they took me to the room because he was in the ICU, lying on the bed. I still remember he was lying in a very awkward position, and I asked the nurse why. He says, "No, for us to allow his lungs, maybe they can come up," because his head was tilted looking down. And I was like, this is not happening. Then as I was there, Thabiso started calling his uncles, whoever he can call. And then he left and he says, "Mom, I need to go and pick up my little sister from school." And I said, "Your other sister is writing a test this morning." She said, "Let's not disturb her, let her finish. And then after she's finished, I will call her." And at the moment, everybody was starting now to come to hospital. I still remember my brother and his wife, they came and they found me there. I think the first question they asked me, "Did you eat?" And I said, "I don't know. I can't remember eating." And I was sitting there. He was lying there. I was sitting in the room. They gave me a chair. They put tissues there, nurses. And I think I was at that moment that I was not crying literal, but the tears were just rolling.
Yeah.
Tears were just rolling down. And I kept on saying to him, "You promised me. You can't leave me. You said you're going to grow all together. You told me we're going to travel after the kids have they're finished school." And you I kept on, talking as if he's hearing me.
And he was not responding?
He was not responding.
Okay.
But, God uses his people. I remember my brother came to the room and he looked at me and he just said, he shook his head and he went out. And when people came in, because the doctor said, if the family are here, they can come in one by one, but I must not leave his side.
Yeah.
Because I'm the only one who's supposed to be there.
All the time, yes.
All the time. They can come in and say their goodbyes. It was like as if I'm absent-minded. I think I was no longer there because I don't know what was happening on that day. But one thing that I remember, my aunt, who's in Polokwane, she called me. I think it was around 2. And she said, "Let's pray." I remember with the prayer at the end, she said, "Allow God's will to be done." And I said, "I hope God will do the right thing." That was it.
And what was the right thing to you?
I don't know. My right thing, I think I was saying, "God, bring him back."
Yeah. But he wasn't gone at that time. He was
that
still...
time he was not gone, but his body now was cold. His body was very cold.
That he was still breathing.
The machines were on.
Oh, okay. So you don't know if he was breathing by himself?
I don't know.
Or
no, he was not breathing by himself. Because
okay.
I asked the nurse. The nurse said it's only the machines now.
Okay.
And the next thing, I heard a nurse screaming, and she said, "No,
But were you in the room?
I was in the room, sitting
but she's
there.
Screaming. You are
she because the nurse. It was me and the nurse.
Yeah.
The nurse was standing.
Yeah.
because the nurse, she said she's not supposed to leave.
Okay, yeah, when I see you, they there all the time, right?
She was there.
Mm.
And when she said, no, Tate Lengwati, I looked at her and I think I don't know whether it was seconds or minutes. The next thing they came with, I think with the injection, they injected me.
They
And then-
injected you.
Yes, they said it's to calm me down, and they took me away and they put me in another room. And I sat there and the doctor came in
And confirmed.
and she said, sorry for your loss.
Wow. How did your body feel at that moment before your mind understood? Well, if there's a
I
balance.
think my body was numb. Tired. If I say tired, maybe it's better. I think I was exhausted.
Was that moment when the doctor said, I am sorry for your loss, is that what you mark as the beginning? Because that was the confirmation.
Yes, I think the doctor, when he said sorry for the loss, and I realized
That is it.
that is it. I cannot debate this anymore. And I still remember when I was sitting in that room, my brother came in and he said, they need you. And I said, for what? He said, you have to sign the forms.
Already. So did you have time to, what was your first prayer or your first thought or the first word after that confirmation? I don't know why they would rush. Well, anyway, they rushed you to come and sign, but
I don't think it was immediate because
Okay.
I think I was in
in a space.
a space where I was like trying to take it in to say, did they tell me the truth? Am I sleeping? Am I awake? Is it true? What are they trying to say to me? Because now I was sitting in that room, remember? Now I'm sitting with another nurse there, just
Yes.
sitting next to me. And I think they were just observing me to say what I'm going to do and what in case of medical things. And I think that after that, I think I closed my eyes and I said, God, if this is what your will is,
Yeah.
it has been done.
So that was your first prayer.
That's my first prayer. I couldn't think of anything because what came to my mind was my aunt's words when she said, allow God's will to be done.
And you were with your brother and your sister-in-law.
I was with my brother and my sister-in-law at that time, and my kids were also there, but I don't know what happened to them at that moment.
Yeah. It was a lot.
Because
in your
I
mind.
know in that when his last breath, it was just me and him and the nurse. The others, there was a room that they've put them waiting. So
Was there any indication for you on the machine to say this is now his last? Or when the nurse screamed, was it, because usually you would see the
there was-
machines go, dee, or,
the
like
machine
this,
was going up and down, but I think at the last moment I got lost. I didn't even hear.
or
when they
after she
introduced-
screamed.
After she screamed, it's only I realized now the machine was quiet.
Oh, okay.
And
okay.
then that's when I was taken off in
Out
that
of the room.
They say they put me in another room. And
Yeah.
I was like, that's why I said, as if they were waiting and they knew that this is going to happen, but I didn't see coming. Like I said, unprepared pain.
Unprepared pain. Yeah. Do you recall any emotion at that confirmation moment that you had? You prayed. You said.
I prayed. I think that's what I said. I couldn't scream. I think just my tears were just raining down. And I think I started, I will say, after I've signed, and then I was going home. And when I got home and I saw people in my house, I think my mom came to me and she said, I don't know what to say to you. And I looked at her. I think that was a moment I screamed.
when you got at that time. Yeah.
I was already home and I screamed
Mm.
to say, what is she saying? Now was recording to my mind to say, this is real.
Well, yeah, so I wanted, like, did the world really, did it feel real, or were you floating above the world? Like,
I think I was floating because my mind was not willing to record it reality. And I think I was in the moment to say, maybe I'm in my dreams.
yeah,
It's not, I'm going to wake up
and someone will, yeah,
and somebody tells me it's not true.
yes, it was a dream.
It's just a dream.
Yeah,
That's where I was floating. The earth just changed. It became cold. It became warm. It became mixed up.
yeah.
I didn't know what to say, what to do. Yeah.
How was the first 24 hours? You are now home. You've had your time. You've had then the moment to do your own screaming, and all of, and just floating. But how, if you recall the first 24 hours, how was that? Fear, confusion, or disbelief.
The first 24 hours was a disbelief, and the fear came in.
Fear.
Yeah, it came in to say, what's next? What are you going to do? Will you be able to stand on your own? And I looked around, I realized there's no one, but I'm on my own now.
How long were you married at that time?
We're exactly 17 years.
17 years. Yeah.
So I was like, this house is not going to be the same, because I expected him to come back home. And the 24 hours, I think, were the most hardest thing, because that night I couldn't sleep.
Yeah.
And they kept on telling me I couldn't sleep, I couldn't eat.
And it's busy in the house.
And the house
keeps on telling you something is not normal.
The house is full. Other people came in, they're crying. It was like I'm somewhere, but I was lost.
Yeah. Do you have an image or a sound that to this day still lives in your memory? Is it the sound? Is it an image, or anything that you still say, this is what I remember?
Yes, I've got an image of that day when it happened. One thing, when I looked at him, is that he was peaceful.
Okay.
And another thing that reminded me, when I got home, my little girl, she said to me, Mommy, he was sick. She didn't say a lot. She just said, and I looked at the 7-year-old, she's telling me he was sick. And I was like, yo. Every day, that thing, I think every time, even to this day, when I look at Mpumi, those words, they still come to my mind. And I look at it and did she really say to me he was sick? I couldn't understand.
How did the rest of the children take it in those first moments?
I think the person was hit the hardest was the second
Your
born, my daughter. Kolofelo. She wailed uncontrollably. And she kept on saying, we must wake him up. And I said, how? You couldn't.
Wow.
I don't know, because with Tabi, so the first son, I think all boys, sometimes they take it far, I don't know. But
he didn't really show much.
He didn't show much. I think he stood there, and I think he took, because when his dad while he was sick, he used to tell him he needs to be strong. He needs to take care of his sister and mother. I think he was trying to
do exactly that.
Do what he was told.
Yeah. Do you have questions that linger in your head, that lingered then and nobody could answer?
Yes, I do. The first question was like, what happened? And the second question, I said, I will never ask God, but I asked God, why? And I said to myself, I'm not supposed to do that, but I asked, I said, why?
So when you say what happened, you said he was sick. Is there a question beyond that? Like,
Yeah, to me, it's like his sickness was very short-lived. And he was not the person that used to be sick. So that's what I said, what happened.
did you feel, I'm just talking about the first moments where did you feel close to God, or when you asked him why, was it a feeling of he's left you, he's abandoned you, or you just want to know why?
I think with God, I felt as if God just left me at that moment, to be honest. I felt as if God left me because I prayed. I don't want to lie. The times when he was sick, we prayed. We fasted. And pastors used to come and pray with us. I don't know. That's why I said to God, why?
Just on that question of why, and we prayed and we fasted, what would you say now that, of course, in the past 8 years, you've grown, you've thought about this, you've thought about those moments of why, and maybe felt God a bit far. What would you just say? Do you have any revelation of this motion of praying and fasting and asking God for a certain outcome and it doesn't come through?
I will say, as I've grown now, to be with God and understand God more. I think my why today, I went back and said, God, forgive me for asking you why. Because God said in his word, all our days are numbered.
Yeah.
And I didn't know how his days. And I didn't know his journey. And I had to say, if God allowed him to be on this earth up to today, what would have happened? Maybe God knew something that I didn't know. But at this moment, because now I'm closer to God, I'm not going to go back and say why.
Yeah.
And I remember we said that God's will be done, not my will.
So we are sitting here, somebody else, some other woman, some other mother is going through exactly the same thing. And they're probably saying, but God, we prayed, we fasted. What is it with the expectation of having a particular answer when we pray, and what happens when we get disappointed?
I think we've got that, I will say we've got that mentality that if we say to God, we have prayed, we've spoken to you, we've cried, we've fasted, we expect God to do our will.
Yes.
And forgetting that he said his will. And it is, if you realize that in the Bible, when Jesus Christ was about to be crucified, he says, if this cup could pass, but not my will,
your will.
And sometimes our disappointment, they come because we expect what we think without asking God's will.
There's a bit of transformation as people that we need to have when it comes to that, because then that's what also maybe makes us feel whether is God with us or not with us, because we've got a particular expectation. And yet there's a lot that God had said, So still on that day or that week, if your heart could have spoken then, what would it have cried out?
I think on that week, on that day, my heart would have spoken to say, I think it has come to a part where I have to take the journey without him. But at the same time, my heart wanted to be with him based on the promises we made together. So that's why I couldn't comprehend the pain easily. It was not an easy part. Yeah.
And you couldn't sleep on that in that week.
No.
And I think also that the time, everything needed you to arrange for the day and everything else, so you don't even have time to be with yourself and just unpack those thoughts and really listen to yourself. And unfortunately, the requirements of the preparations don't give you enough time for that.
Yeah, the preparations they don't give you enough time for that. And another thing that I realized within that week, instead you start accepting, starting preparation on that pain that you have, there's another unprepared pain that you didn't expect. Now comes the battle.
Yeah. So you are facing loss, and then you have to look into other truth that you discover that no one can also prepare you for. So I want to get deeper and get into that for us to just be in the day in the life of Matshidiso that week. So you were facing loss, and then other truths came in. I don't want to call them secrets, I want to say call them truths.
Yes.
That again, no one could have prepared you for. Do you want to just tell us when, what, how you got to get the truths? Was it before the passing, after the passing, and what those truths are?
Okay, I will say the truth. I got the truths before his passing. And I think it was in January. I was in hospital. If I remember the date, it was the 21st of January. And that morning, he called me from hospital, says to me, as you come today, please get me a notebook and a pen. And I said, why? He said, no. And then I went there, the pen and the notebook. And then he started writing the names. And I think I allowed him to finish. And then after that, I said, you tell me, what is this?
What did he write? What you were watching him writing?
Yes, I was watching him writing.
Okay, just sentences, scribbling sentences.
He was writing, when you write the name of the person and you've got those arrows.
Like a family tree thing.
Yeah, family tree.
Yeah, okay.
That means each person with their stuff on the side.
Now you're going to have to tell us what he was writing.
He was writing, I will say, the name of the ladies and the name of the kids.
And okay, so from the part where he wrote and then you asked him,
what is this?
Yeah, yes.
And he said, I just need to apologize. And I said, apologize for what? And he said, for not being faithful in our marriage. And I said, okay, you tell me about it. And he said, you see these names here, these are the mother's names, these are the kids' names.
In that book?
In that book. And
mothers.
And kids. And I looked at him and I said, the ages. And he told me, and I was like, clearly this is now marriage. This whole thing is now marriage. And he says, I just want you to forgive me. And I said to him, you know what? I don't know what to say. You are sick now. You are in hospital. Get better. Let's talk about it. Those were my words.
And that was the last time you spoke about it?
Yes.
You were waiting for him to get
I
better.
was waiting for him to get better.
So you said mothers. What is the number?
We're talking 6.
6 mothers. And kids?
12.
12. So each mother
Not
had,
including my kids. No?
not including, you've got your own 3. So each mother has got more than one child.
There's others with 1, there's others with 2, others with, well, I think there was one who had 3. And then I think 3 had 2, and the others were 1.
You have to take us through that moment. So now you've got a book, now there's mothers, now there's family trees, there's kids, there's like, okay, forgive me. Did you get to forgive him then? Or you just said, we'll talk about it when
I
you're
said
better?
we'll talk about it when you get better. Because it was, to me, it was like...
Tell me how your
felt
heart, your body, what was happening?
I felt I was angry. Honestly, I got very angry. And I think I stood up and went outside a little bit to take a deep breath or breathe a little bit to say, I need some fresh air to think what he's saying at this moment. And he's sick. He's in hospital bed.
So you can't really address this thing.
This thing. And I said to myself, when was this going to come out if he was sick?
What were the ages at the time?
The youngest, I think, was going to be a year old.
A year old.
The eldest, I think, is 2 eldest, by the way, below Kulofela's age. I think this year, if I'm correct, those 2 eldest, they're doing matric this year, if I'm correct. Yeah.
But Kulofela did matric long time ago.
Yeah, that's why I say they are below.
They were below.
Below.
Besides those ones in the book, were there other children that you knew about that were his?
Yes, I only knew 2.
Okay.
I
So
only knew
17
2.
plus the 2 plus your 3. Interesting. I don't know if it's interesting or what. I don't know. It's shocking.
Not interesting.
It's shocking. I don't
Yeah.
know. Sometimes the right words don't come through. And you took a breather. You can't exactly ask him. You can't exactly be too. Even that anger you have to now maybe set it aside and take care of the sick person now.
Yes. And I got home. I remember when I got home, something was like, talk to your kids, but I was like, no, not now.
Did you speak to anybody?
I couldn't speak to anybody by the time. I couldn't. Because in my mind, it was a battle, serious battle. Because I wanted the answers. I couldn't talk to him. And I was like, if anything happens, now he dies, they will say it's me. Because I put him under a lot of stress. That was a battle in my mind. And I left it there. And I said, let me concentrate for him to get better.
Did you start feeling some form of pain at that point? I mean, betrayal or that you actually had to hold?
Yes, I felt betrayed. I felt that to say, I kept myself. I respected myself. I made sure that he won't hear anything about his wife wherever he goes. There's funny things or silly things that, when you're in a relationship and you're like, at the same time, you were like, God, I'm serving you. I'm praising you. How did this thing happen in my marriage?
And you couldn't speak to anybody?
I couldn't speak to anybody. I couldn't tell anybody. And it was like I wanted also to approach his mother, but my heart was not willing. But I felt so much betrayed because I remember, I think the next day before I went to hospital, and I looked at myself, I said, was there something that is missing in being a woman? Or didn't I give him enough kids? I had those questions. And
which is a bit unfair, because the first thing you do, you're protecting him. You don't want to discuss it further because he's sick. But then the next best thing you do is to question yourself. What is it about us women doing that? Like, why must there be something wrong about you? I mean, tell us, like, why do we do that?
I don't understand. I think it's in the nature, because we always tend to blame ourselves before we take the blame to them. Because we feel maybe we've done something wrong. Maybe he wanted more, but we couldn't supply. Because I remember even asking myself, I said, oh, because I became sick, then I have to do hysteromy. Those old things come to you to say, where did I go wrong? I think we tend to, before we look at ourselves, to be correct, to stand our ground, we tend to blame
ourselves first, right? So you have to now carry that. You have to now also be there emotionally for him. I want to just also understand what was in your thought as a mother now, because you mentioned that you said maybe you should sit your kids down, but you felt no. What was that? Because I do have the passion that draws me to the spirit of motherhood, the things that we have to do, decisions that we have to take.
I think one thing that I wanted to protect my kids, especially, I will say Kolfelo, the second one, they were very close. Very close. She was very close to her dad. And I looked at Thabiso to say, if I say this has happened, what role will he get from him? How he's a boy, will he judge him? Will be angry with him? And I look at the other one and I said, and I think what made to look at them is because I remember when he brought the other daughter in 2010 into our lives. I remember how my kids reacted. They were very angry.
Wow.
They were very angry. They felt their dad was not an honest man. I remember.
Was she younger than Thabiso?
She was younger than Thabiso.
So it happened during your marriage.
Yeah. And then my kids were very angry. They were very, very angry. They didn't want to talk to him for days. You understand? And I went to that scenario and I said, this is gonna break them down.
So you had to keep it.
I had to keep it.
While being strong again. At what point did you get to tell your children?
Actually, I told my kids, I think, I wouldn't say I told them per se, they discovered during the week
of the bereavement.
Of the bereavement. They found out.
How?
Because, the in-laws.
Okay. Unpack it.
Their grandmother, which was my mother-in-law.
Yes.
She brought the girls and the kids to my house.
What do you mean the girls? The mothers? All 6 of them?
I don't know how many they were.
Or you didn't get to see, you just heard they were there?
I had.
Have you met any of them before?
No.
You didn't actually know, so why am I even asking you? Didn't even know they existed. But some you might meet and think that they were told that it's an employee or it's a tenant.
Yeah, others I met them as being employees, not knowing that they were not just employees.
So others you've met, others you have not met. Were they past relationships or were they active relationships?
To me, it looked as if it was active.
All of them at the same time,
Yes,
including yourself?
Yes, they were active. That's even when I discovered at that moment, while he was sick, after he told me to say some of them, they're staying in the houses that we bought.
The houses that you bought through the business.
Yes.
And how did you not know that, or were you were renting the house?
We were renting the house.
Oh, those were the tenants.
Yes.
Okay,
The tenants that were not paying.
that were not paying. But why you never followed up that they were not paying, or it was not a department that you were handling? It was what?
No, I was handling it, but every time when I asked, he told me no, he created a different account. He will show it to me.
That they are paying in. Oh,
Okay.
now you discover they were actually fully taken care of. So they had houses.
They had houses. Some
They
of them had cars.
They had cars that the company bought as well.
The company bought.
So where did you? In your explanation, what?
Because those cars I've never saw. I only realized I will see them when we're renewing the disc, and I will ask, which car is this one? And he'll say, no, maybe it's a mistake. I'll go and sort it out.
So many mistakes. Oh, but you were together in business, so you didn't
Yeah.
also get into details.
Yeah, you understand? And you're like, okay, go and sort it out.
Now you discover that they have houses,
They have cars.
they have cars, probably also allowance because there's kids.
Yeah, I don't know how he did his allowance, because after he was gone, we traced the bank statements. That was not showing anything.
Maybe there was cash.
I think it was cash.
Well, we kept it for years. So you would say the eldest was how old at the time? 10, 12, 10.
Yeah.
Well, yeah. Gosh, I can't imagine how that made you feel.
It made me...
So when your children found out, it was probably in a very careless way, because it
Yeah,
was
it
then
was-
during that bereavement, and
It
was
was
just
a very
said,
careless
yeah.
way. And I still remember that day, chaos broke out. Yeah, it was on a Sunday, and then the chaos just broke out. And I don't know what happened there. But all that I could remember, I remember instructing my mother-in-law to leave my house. I still remember that day. I told him, get out and leave my house.
Yeah. She did. She didn't. Or they talked you out of it, of course.
They talked me out
I know
of
how
it.
family can be. But I guess, I guess it was too. So what did that then force you to call your children and formally tell them?
Yes, it did. I had to
During
say-
that time,
during
you're
that
preparing for
time.
the funeral,
We're
but you also
preparing
have
for-
those kind of meetings and wow,
Yeah, we had to-
what women go through, what mothers go through.
we go through
How
it.
did they take it?
They didn't take it well. Because I still... Tabiso said, what type of a man was he?
So now they now trading the grief with anger,
With anger,
disappointment.
disappointment, everything.
Sure. That must have been quite.
Yeah, it was quite tough, because I remember my brother had to take Tabisa and Kulufelo, lock them in the room, because they were now shouting and screaming.
And the humiliation,
Yeah, it was
embarrassment.
It was there. Everything was there.
Wow. And now you need to prepare for that.
Yes.
And you don't have control whether they come to the funeral or they don't.
I couldn't control that situation.
They were
that
probably all
part.
there.
I heard so that they were all there.
Well, after he's told you and given you the family trees and the names and the numbers, did he give you any instruction or ask in terms of what now you must do? Yes, he asked for forgiveness, but what else? Did he ask for anything else?
Yeah, he said to me, all that he's asking is that if possible, I could take care of them, but I'm not obliged to do that. He said, if you can, and only also if they respect you. but at the end he said, "You're not obliged."
Yeah. Yeah. We will come back to that and what it meant in terms of the life after. I would like to also just get you to share the complications that go on during that week as we do the way we do our funerals, the opinions, the decisions that must be taken, sometimes chaos. It's almost like it's designed to be in that So what was your experience during that time? Because those things, they also steal away from your time to come to terms with what has happened.
I think what stole away from me the most is when on a Monday, when we are supposed now to go to Home Affairs to get the death certificate.
By the way, he passed on a Thursday.
On a Thursday.
Right, yeah.
So it's a weekend, now it's a Monday.
Yeah.
And as I was like, now I need just to go to Home Affairs. The lady of Bob, she called me, she says, "No, I've organized, they're going to come and pick you up, and you can get one of the relatives to accompany you. You must go and get the death certificate." As people are sitting, in the room, in the bedroom, we are sitting there, there's a lot of aunties and whatever is there. And my mother-in-law stood up, she says, "Where do you think you're going? Because you not even aware that you've been divorced, you can't get the death certificate."
You've been divorced? Your unprepared pain is a lot. So you were told you've been divorced?
And I was like, when?
Wow.
And I said, I remember looking at my mom. My mom said, "What is she saying?" I said, "I don't know what she's talking about, but all that I know, I'm going to get my marriage certificate and my ID and his ID. I'm going to come back with the death certificate." And as we left...
Did she live with you?
No, she followed us with the daughter.
Okay, daughter. Right, yeah.
With the daughter's car. They followed us to Home Affairs. And when we got there...
He was not divorced?
I was never being divorced.
So that means that your mother-in-law knew about all the other mothers?
She knew. She knew them very well. She knew them exactly.
And you know what's I also don't even have a description to that, is the fact that they were not past relationships, they were present. You were actually in a polygamy and you just didn't know.
Yeah, I was not aware that I had sister's wife.
You had sister wives and you had no idea because they were all active. They probably knew each other, but
they knew each other.
Yeah. Wow. The power of money, because her husband was doing very well. The power of money.
They knew each other because I will say one thing I discovered in his phones when he was gone, that there were photos where he will take the kids and the mothers somewhere out without us.
In your marriage, and I don't discount the fact that every marriage has its challenges, right? And it has its seasons. Sometimes we call it challenges and yet it's seasons, because every marriage has a summer, winter, autumn, and a spring, right? So in winter there are things, in summer there are things, and all of that. So some are just like part of the seasons that come in a marriage. Were you at all aware? Was there nothing that indicated to you that there's something going on? Was there nothing that got you to pick up?
There were signs.
Right.
But at the moment, when you ask a person, he will say it's not true. Because there were times where sometimes, I think, with the type of a business he had, it was easy for him to get away with it.
Yes.
To say, I'm going to a site. We had sites like Bloemfontein, Mpumalanga, Eastern Cape. He will tell you, I'm going away to the site in Eastern Cape, or He's around in Gauteng for a week somewhere. Yeah.
Okay, so in a month he would be away.
He will be away from
Yeah.
you, and sometimes when you call him, you don't find him, and he had excuses. I think he did this thing in a more clever way because of the work he was doing.
Yeah.
And then even when I heard people whisper into my ears to say something, this is what is happening behind your back. And I was that person that I will confront him to say, where are we now?
Yeah.
What's
This is
happening?
what I'm hearing. Yeah.
This is what I'm hearing. And
Right.
he will say to me, they lie to you. They just want to destroy what we have. Don't care about them. He'll make sure. And he was that person, he will just splash you with money to say, go and do this, do it. He was like, I think he did well in covering his tracks.
Yeah.
That's what I will say. He did well.
He covered his tracks well.
He covered his tracks well.
Wow, for more than 10 years.
For more than
6 other women. No, he was, he was
he was.
I don't know how to say it from myself. You can say
I
what
don't
you
know,
think.
I don't know. I think sometimes you say a person maybe will, when we grow up, they say people will give you korobelo or bewitch you to play
Yes.
into his ground.
Yeah.
I think that's what he did. And he knew that, no, Sid is not a person who will go around and Sid will go there and there. And I know my wife will go to church and come back to the malls, go home and visit few family or friends. I will not go after people. I will not call.
So it was a norm for you that in a month maybe there are a week or 2 or something that he's not there, and that's part of the business.
That was to me to say, oh yeah, by the way, we've got sites. He needs to go to Malang. He needs to go.
And you're not the person that will go and confirm.
No, I was that person to say, because he will literally say, pack me a bag, I'm going. And you pack with confidence that no, he's going to the site. Or maybe he used to go to the site once in a while. Or maybe the guys will take pictures, send it to him, and when he comes back, he tells you about the site. And you're like, oh no, he went to the site.
Sure. Yeah, no, look, I'm looking at you, I'm like, what kept you standing? What keeps you standing? And I guess the unfortunate thing is that this comes up when he's very, very sick. So maybe also the questions that you ask where you say why and all of that is also informed by, but I need answers to these things.
Yes.
I need you to tell me what happened here. And when it's gone, you obviously can't.
I couldn't.
So you went to the Home Affairs, you got the death certificate. That was a drama solved.
First drama.
First drama solved.
Solved.
Okay.
And we came back, I think in the afternoon, we went to the Afpo mortuary, and I asked them, anybody wants to accompany us? The drama also there. Then I took my kids. And I went. As we are there, they came in also now. The drama that follows you. And when you were choosing the coffin, there was disagreements. Eventually, I remember Colfella says, you know what, guys? This is my dad. And his money will bury him. When he was talking now out of anger. Because the aunt was like, we mustn't choose an expensive coffin. We must think. And we're like, no, there's no time to think. If he has to live with his money, let him be. I think also my kids were like angry.
Yes. Yeah, the emotions were mixed now.
Yeah.
It's not just grieving on its own, it's grieving and anger.
And then the other thing that they did when we came back, I think it was on a Thursday, they told us we must slaughter a goat, and we asked what for. And they were like, no, it's our tradition. And my kids, I think that time they took over from me. And this Tabitha told them, he has never slaughtered a goat, this man in this house, and he never taught us to slaughter a goat. What is the goat for? And the uncle was saying, Tabitha, she says, uncle, where were you? Why didn't you teach us the tradition?
The things
He
that come
didn't
up,
teach us.
those
You
traditions.
cannot
yeah.
teach us while he's gone. It's
Yes.
not going to be possible. Yeah, it was a serious battle, that one of a goat. But we
Wow.
never allowed them to do
It
it.
didn't happen.
No, it didn't happen.
So it looks like you were able to get things the way you wanted them and the way your children wanted them done.
Yeah.
Yeah. But at the same time, you also, I guess, needed to be sensitive to give his family a chance to also grieve him.
Yes, I did allow them, but I don't think they were grieving those people. Because believe you me, I think it was on a Friday.
The day before the funeral.
The day before the funeral. They wanted the car keys. And I was like, what for?
Which car now? You guys had more than one car?
No, they were choosing cars.
Oh, okay.
Like, you know, when you get to the dealer and you say,
Yeah.
I want that one. I think this was... Because
Yeah.
another one came looking for a key of Amarok, and the other one was saying, no, I want a Mercedes-Benz. And I was like, no, guys. Those cars are not supposed to be driven until he's buried. And the keys you'll never find. So, and they told me another thing that, yeah, before he goes to the final resting place, we must pass at his home in Soweto. I said, that is not going to happen.
His mother's home.
His mother's home.
Okay.
I said, first of all, the mother left there. There were tenants there. And he has left that home how many years ago? He's gonna leave from here straight to the graveyard. And the brother was like, yeah, if I say that, that means the whole family won't come to the funeral. I said, fine.
But
I was threatened with those
Yeah.
words, and I said, fine. But
Yeah.
in the Saturday morning, they were all
They
there.
were all there. Wow. We will also get a little bit into the detail of the legal implications of that, just to understand. But is there any other, just taking you through to that weekend, the day of the burial, other emotions that came in that from yourself and so on, anything you can?
I think me, and that week, I was, to be honest, I think I was lost in the real world. I was not alive.
Yeah.
I will say I was not alive. Because everything that was happening, I think I was doing them in a dream. Not realizing it's reality.
That floating state.
Yeah, it is floating state.
Yeah.
And I think the worst thing that has dawned to me when I saw his coffin going down, and I realized now,
That's
it
it.
is not a dream.
Yeah.
This is not a dream. And before that stage, I will say on Friday when they went to get his body, bringing it at home.
Oh, you spent the night at home.
Yeah, actually I never wanted that, but
You were tired of fighting.
I was tired of fighting because everybody was telling me. I still remember my late grandmother from my mother's side. She came and sat next to me. She says, you know what? Because she was a Christian. She says, I understand where you come from, but allow them. Allow them to grieve their son.
Yeah.
And
In the way that they know how.
Yeah. It was my grandmother and my late aunt.
Yeah.
And they sat next to me and they said, because I thought, no, it's not, I don't want him to come home. But they said, he needs to. And my grandmother and my aunt, they had to talk out of it for me to say, this time,
Yeah.
just bow your head, let them do what they want to do.
And how was that? How was that him coming there? Because
it-
obviously you have to sleep next to him.
Yes, it was very sad because I think one thing that hurt me the most, made me cry even before it gets in, when I heard the bells of the cherry pickers that we have
Yeah.
for work, and they were hitting the sirens.
Sure.
And I realized, and I didn't know did the staff, the employees prepared that as he was going to be taken out from the mortuary to come home, they took all the cars, the cherry pickers. They made a guard of honor. So they said the Hesh was driving in between them as they come home. And the sirens were raised. So when they were now sirening close to their home, and one thing I saw, Kulfela came running. She says, "Mama, she's coming. She's coming. Mama is coming." And I said, "Who?" And when I heard now the sirens, I think there I cried. And as the coffin was coming through, I don't know. One thing I remember that when I woke up, they woke me up. I think I fainted a little bit.
Yeah.
And they woke me up. They said they want to open him so that people can
See him,
but they can't do that if I'm still not conscious. Because I have to be conscious. I have to be the first one to do it. It was very painful. I tell you, it was very painful, and to me, it was traumatic for me because now they made me lie next to his coffin. That was the worst. I think I was avoiding that part when I said no.
Sure, I can.
Other traditions are so difficult.
Yes.
Yeah, they said to me, I can't. I must just. They put the mattress there, and I was like, yeah, this is torture to me.
Yeah. Do you still remember how you felt?
I think I was crying the whole night. I cried a lot. I think they even got a doctor for me to sedate me a little bit. Yeah, I couldn't comprehend.
Much, yeah.
I couldn't comprehend it, and I was like, why? I laid next to him for years. Why do I have to do it now? Why is there?
Yeah. Wow. That was the end, and you saw him going.
Then I saw him going. And
And at least after the Saturday and the Sunday, people start packing and going.
Start packing. Oh, before they pack. Hey, my mother never had a drama here. She was a drama queen, but I always forgive her. Yeah. She told me, she says...
Were the rules after the...
No,
what?
She said to me, the relationship is over.
Yeah, death do you part.
And I said...
Did you expect something? Well, I guess...
No, I didn't expect anything. Because the aunts from his side, they asked, "Aunt, am I going to put on mourning clothes?" And I said, "I don't want them."
What were they saying? The relationship is over because that's how they do things, or do you think it was out of bitterness or
it was
anger?
Out of bitterness and anger.
Okay. That they didn't get their way.
That they didn't get their way, and they couldn't control me. And she said to me, she's gonna come back within 3 months and bury.
And bury him?
And bury another one in that house.
In your house? Wow, okay. So in other words, one of your kids?
She didn't say who.
Oh, she just said she's gonna come and bury another person.
Well.
So in
3 months.
In 3 months.
Yeah.
So I guess a lot of people that have traveled the journey like you, they will relate and probably also have lots of stories to talk about in terms of the pain and drama and things that happen in that week, between the two families, between in-laws, outlaws. Sometimes you just don't know, and these new traditions that you get taught on the day. So I know that it happens all the time. It comes in all shapes, sizes, colors, and I think this conversation, it probably it's something that we need to continue to say, how do we deal with this? What do we do? Because obviously during that week, there's nothing much that can be done. But afterwards, how do we get people that have lost their husbands to go through some, can I say, reasonable grief, which is what is going to take us to the next part, where I would want to understand then what then? Because there's you, there's your children, there's your in-laws, there's 6 other sister wives that you don't know, and other kids that you needed to deal with, and there's an estate because you guys were running businesses and so on. So we'll go deeper into that. Wow, yeah, this has been eye-opening. It's been I want to say something about emotionally drawing, you know, and as I indicated earlier on, I think there's a lot of mothers, women who are widows who have gone through difficult journeys like yourself. Well, I've never had anything like this, but I guess they also have their visions, and that's what I want to be doing, to empower mothers to really be able to say, I can rise. You know, it's what I call the Africa Moms Rising journey in these conversations with greatness, because what makes a great person. So thank you very much for being open, transparent, vulnerable, and sharing your heart with us. And we are not done. This is just the beginning. And I'm sure you will agree with me that the emotion that goes with this, the pain, you know, that we as mothers go through. And as we were chatting, but you can see that beyond that, there's also rebuilding, recharging, redefining of a mother and of a woman. Catch us next time as we are going to continue this conversation with Matshidiso Lengwati as she unpacks even more. There's a lot more that is coming out. We are in conversation with greatness. Don't forget to follow us on our YouTube channel, to subscribe and to like as we tell the stories of mothers in different shapes, sizes, colors, and forms, but to just demonstrate that, like Napoleon Hill says, that for every failure and adversity, there's a seed of a bigger or maybe of an equal or bigger benefit and blessing. Watch us next time as we continue. Thank you.